Welcome to Nineworks TV. Now we're in the middle of winter 2022, there's so much salt on the road. It's not the best environment for a classic 911 such as this. However, this winter I have done so many miles in my Porsche 911. I've enjoyed driving it so much, and the reason is I've done a really cool, popular and highly cost-effective modification to the exhaust on my 911. In this video then, I'm going to be talking about and reviewing the Gundo hack. Bring the noise. Now you may remember I did a video in the summer where I compared 8 Porsche 996s that all had different aftermarket exhausts on. The whole kind of point of that test really was to offer myself and you an opportunity to test all of these cars back to back, to listen to the sounds of them, to work out what really is the best aftermarket soundtrack for the Porsche 996. Now out of all of the 8 cars that were there, I actually decided, well, the best sound was the Gundo hack. It's also the best value by far out of all of them, of course. So with that in mind, and because I'm still largely undecided as to what to do long term with the soundtrack on Little Irish, that's exactly what I've decided to do, go with the Gundo hack. That means that my Dansk Sport silencers have come off the car. The guys at Right Tune are swapping this for a little bit of this. I'll explain later in the video what exactly the Gundo hack is. First though, let's see the mod fitted up to Little Irish, which was carried out by the good guys at Right Tune. My Dansk Sport mufflers, which are only 3 years old by the way, needed a bit of grinding work on the brackets to free them up and whip them off, which is usually the way with this 996. With the mufflers removed, the exhaust tips were taken off before Tony got the welder out and put in the all-important extra tubing. With one done, here you can effectively see a before and after of how the Gundo hack looks over stock. And that's it. After the other side was completed, both mufflers were put back onto the Porsche, ready for the acid test of a start-up from cold. Now comparison is obviously important, so first you'll see a cold start-up of the old Porsche factory mufflers on the car when I bought it, then the Dansk mufflers fitted 3 years ago, before the all-new 2022 Gundo goodness. Yeah, go for it. It's at this point we should explain fully what the Gundo or PSE hack is. The reason it's called PSE hack is because the sound or the science behind it is broadly similar to PSE, Porsche Sports Exhaust, that lovely sound that is an optional extra from 996s onwards. So what is it? Well, essentially the Gundo hack involves welding an additional piece of tubing, normally between 1.5 and 2 inches thick, between the inlet and outlet pipes on your exhaust system. It basically allows you to bypass the silencer. Now again, broadly speaking, the science behind the PSE system, Porsche Sports Exhaust system, is the same. The only difference with that is that has a valve. The next question is, well, why would you do it? Really, it comes down to cost effectiveness, fiscal prudence, you might say. And the reason is, you're paying for the labour and a bit of tubing. That's literally it. That's why it's popular, and yet it's a really good way of unlocking that quintessential PSE flat six sound that we all know and love, and really what these cars deserve. Again, in terms of the science, what we're not discussing here or looking at in any great detail are things like back pressure, and the reason is I just don't see the point. Really, as I say, the Gundo hack is a cost-effective way of unlocking sound, not necessarily power. One of the key components of sports car ownership and sports car driving experience is the sound these cars make, and if, like the Porsche 996.1, you think your car is overly quiet and you just want to unlock a little bit more of that soundtrack that you know is in that sports car somewhere, then an aftermarket exhaust or an exhaust modification is high on the list. The Gundo hack sees to that sound element that's really key to that sports car ownership experience that we're after. In terms of negatives or drawbacks, and it's important we look at those in order to perform a fair test and to conduct fair reporting, is, well, A, it's non-reversible, so you really do have to commit. Second of all is the Gundo hack isn't switchable, in the sense that you can't turn this on or off when driving. So, great if you like loud exhaust, not so great if from time to time you want the odd peace and quiet, or perhaps more crucially, you don't want to disturb your neighbours. Something to bear in mind from a lifestyle perspective. And another point regards lifestyle, obviously it makes your car louder and it's not switchable, so it might make your car a little bit more of a difficult proposition to get past track day noise regulations and limits. So it's definitely worth bearing that in mind. If you like to do a lot of track days, maybe the Gundo hack might not be the best mod for you. Otherwise, that is it. That is the lowdown. Cheap to do, non-reversible, not switchable, sounds absolutely awesome. Awesome. For me, it's by far the best value mod I've ever done to my Porsche 996. And again, in terms of value for money, I just don't think you can beat it. So many positives to the Gundo hack, a real win. I definitely encourage you to do it. It goes without saying. I absolutely love the sound of this car now it's got the Gundo hack, and to me it sounds like any sports car, and certainly any Porsche 911 should. Really kind of enlivens that flat six and gives it that kind of rather raucous note. Right then, so that's enough talking. Let's do the acid test. From go about 2.5 grand, which is there, and we shall progress to the red line. Lovely. Right, and again. Again, not droney at all, so good for motorway driving. If we knock it back, so I mean that's sitting at 3 grand. Perfectly amicable. Let's just bring it down again. It's got a really nice tone to it. Between 2 and 3, just on, well, a little bit more than tick over. Just hear that in the background, that kind of just nice gruff note. It's that flat six soundtrack. And then again, build. Oh, at 4.5, it sounds really, really good. Oh, doesn't pop and bang or anything like that, which I think would possibly be a little bit overt. So I think we've just got the balance right. It sounds so good. So much louder, so much more gruff than what it did 24 hours before. Magic.